So I have cable that is, focus on these, finger per scale. I have got some 1/0 cable, I think it is. What is this? I should have looked at this up before I started the video. 1/0 cable. It's much bigger than I'm used to. Those are some proper ring terminals. So, a very kind person at the marina has given me this cable, which, wow, that is like $100 worth of cable. I needed this because I need to be able to put the quarter berth back together, and in order to do that, I have to move the Multiplus into the Lazarette. Once I get home and switch the boat over to electric, I don't expect to ever pull close to enough power out of the 12-volt system to justify 1/0 power. But for the trip home, because that's powering the hot water tank and the kettle and the chance that I can pull however many amps, significant number of amps, I need this cable. So with this wire and those connectors, I can now move the Multiplus into the Lazarette. Once that's mounted and wired in, I'm planning to use that space to set up the starter battery. Now, I don't know if it's coming across really well, but that's one of the two batteries, and you can see, yeah, you can't really see. You can see from the side how there's a bit of a bulge here. And this battery has no bulge whatsoever. So my current plan is, I don't know what that translates to. I don't know the health of these batteries. I haven't done a test on them yet. But the current plan is this is going to be dropped in as the new starter battery, and I'll keep this as a backup if I need to. I really hope I don't have to fall back to this. With the Multiplus mounted, I should be mostly done in that forward area of the Lazarette. So I can then put this battery in, which is going to make it hard to work in there once this is in, and try to get the boat starting again. Oh, I need to get all this stuff out now. Battery box. The starter battery will be going back in that. There we go. So that is the regulator for the alternator. Speaking to my friend who is a farmer and has a lot more experience with diesel engines than me, he thinks that the alternator will still run with this by itself. I may need to do some tuning or configuring, I don't know yet, but hopefully that'll mean that the alternator will still put out power for the trip home. I've also figured out that shunt, that green and yellow twisted pair, goes to there, goes to the shunt, and this interrupts going to the, that's the black wire. Yeah, that goes to the alternator. So I should still be able to charge the batteries off the alternator. This should be the input for the Renogy, I believe. I have a lot to figure out on that side. This is the starter, so I should be able to run this to the 12-volt battery. I don't know where to run the ground for the 12-volt battery. I need to figure that out. I forgot where I pulled the ground off of. I think maybe the ground just has to go to the engine. I don't know. I'll figure that out. This is where I'm going to put the starter battery once I finished mounting the Multiplus here. I can then hopefully start closing all of this up and start cleaning up all of the wires. I'm at the trying not to panic with how much I still have to do stage of getting the boat ready for the trip home. It's April 24th and I have to slip the lines May 12th. I can't even start the motor at this point or charge my batteries. And I don't know how much debris is still in here that could clog the engine, or if any of my hoses are going to be a problem, or whether the heat exchanger is going to be a problem. Okay, if I keep thinking about this, I'm going to have a panic attack. So I'm going to disconnect the shore power. So you're going to get turned off entirely. So that's shut down because it's powered by AC. That's still running because it's running off DC, and you can see that I'm actually pulling current out of the batteries to power the 12-volt systems. Let's take the AC off. As my friend Damien says, let's get the danger cam going. Wanted to grab some of the components off this, so I went back. It hadn't been thrown out yet. Stole the switches, and I'm going to take the fuse holders out, but that's for later. Okay, my earrings are ticking, and I'm worried that's going to show up on the audio, so earrings off. To be absolutely safe, I probably should have turned off the batteries. In fact, you know what? I have to turn off the batteries because as soon as I open this up, these are going to be live. Bollocks. Okay, battery off. Battery off. Now this thing should be completely dead, and I just heard the fridge make unhappy noises. I hate taking this bottom off because it is so close to breaking, but I don't really have a choice. Okay, no voltage there. Let's go to AC. Hot and neutral, nothing. Hot and neutral, nothing. Okay, so we're completely dead. Even though these are currently dead, I'm going to tape them up just to be safe. So both positive wires are now taped off. This plate is free. These are the wires that are going to get replaced with the 1-aught. Now, these wires are no longer needed, so I'm going to immediately disconnect them from the 12-volt bus. Don't lose it into the bilge again, please. All right. Given how close this is to breaking, I need to figure out how to fish it through there, up behind here, that's that wire there, and over to the Lazarette, hopefully without breaking anything. AC in is the one without black tape. If this doesn't break, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. Wardrobe change. Oh, forgot to bring the Quattro itself, or the Multiplus itself. Oh, to have a second set of hands to help me hold this would be really nice. Not that two people could fit down here, so it's kind of a moot point. I am going to disconnect this. I'm not going to disconnect it. I'm going to unscrew this and let it flop, and I will find a new home for it when I'm done. This wire is not being used at all anymore. I'm a bit worried that the screws I have for the Multiplus are going to blow through the back of the wall into the nav station area. That fall. Oh, there it is. Got it back. Let's get the regulator out of the way. Bollocks, this is heavy. Damn it. I'm sorry, I may not be able to do this. I may not be able to do this in any way that doesn't block you. Apologies. That seems to be... Oh, I didn't bring a pencil. Come on. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Well, that almost took out the alternator regulator. I'll be right back. I need a pencil. I don't know if you can see it, but I struck a line, which is the top of this. And I know that I can, let's see. It bolts in this way. So the distance from the center of the hole to the top is about 85 millimeters. So I come down roughly 85 millimeters. I don't have a square with me, so there's no way for me to actually square this up. So what I did is I came down 85 millimeters from the line I struck, and that should be where I want these holes to be. Now, if I come over and down just a wee bit, I get one of the holes already from where the alternator regulator was. I'm actually going to go see if I can find some shorter screws that have the tapered heads that go into this. I'd really rather not blow a hole out into the navigation area if I can. Can you see that? That's the bolt that was in there. That's the bolt I have. That's not going to work. The right thing to do would be to go to the hardware store. Is that what I'm going to do? No. For reasons I can't understand, I rarely do the right thing. Let's try these. That's what I want. That's what I found. Let's see if it's good enough. That probably blew out the other side, but what can we do? So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the space between the struck line and where the fold in the metal is. The struck line and the fold in the metal. Is it perfect? Nope. Is it good enough? Oh, whew. I had the drill bit in for the larger screws. I need to get the other bit. Be right back. Bring one of these with me. Now with a better drill bit. Better drill bit, more appropriate drill bit. Oh shit. I'm gonna need a whole new wardrobe when I get home. Pretty much all the clothes I have been destroyed working on this boat. The hidden cost of boating. Okay, let's try test hanging this before I put more holes in it. You know, that's perfectly cromulent. Will you please stop hooking the back of my pants? Oh, fuse, transformer. Good to know if I'm ever debugging. And 2 more screws in here. Sorry, I know you can only see the back of my head. Go slow. Zoo! That's the opposite of slow. These are nice stout screws that were holding up the alternator regulator. I'm gonna steal them for this. Okay. That should be sturdy for the kind of seas I'm expecting to see on the way home. I mean, that might very well be where it ends up living. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but if that goes there, I could probably put the Quattro up there because it's squatter and deeper. Then I'd have both the Victrons up here. Put the MPPTs along here. I could have all the nice blue on this side. I'll put a lot of weight on the starboard side, but I'm sure I can balance that out with like the 12-volt batteries, for example, on the port side. So now let's mount this back up. Let's mount that right about there. 2 screws will hold this just fine for the trip home. One of the things I might do as well when I get home is when I take all of this stuff out, one of the things that's fairly common in servers, telcos, that kind of stuff, is to put up a piece of plywood, it'd have to be marine plywood obviously, that you mount really sturdy, and it adds thickness to the bulkhead. So I could put big skookum screws in there and mount things a lot more securely. Damn it! Well, thankfully I had one more. Alright, that's well and properly in for now. That was the old alternator regulator wire. 2 monitor terminal boards, so I'm really hoping that's just a monitor and that's going to be fine that it's gone. Oh, this is a lot of extra wire. As much as I didn't want to risk pulling this out and potentially breaking this, I think it's worth cutting this wire down. Because I mean, look, I just need this. That's it. Alright, do the right thing. Take this apart. Inverter out is the one with the black stripes. The outside is inverter out, which is AC out. Okay, so black stripe is inverter out. You saw me prep these wires last time. I'm not going to make you watch me again. I did get proper ferrules, so this is going to be a chance to put those ferrules on. I will bring you back once I have cut these short before I do the assembly. Be right back. Okay, so I got the inverter out and inverter in wires done. I've got them both with proper ferrules. I hope that's coming through on the camera. The network cable in. Okay, so that's connected again. AC in is towards the middle. AC out on the outside. There we go. I think that's a little better view. Please don't break. Please don't break. Feeling paranoid. Inverter out. So AC in is the one without tape. And I think I got them backwards. Fuck me, I did. Oh, I'm glad I checked. How did I screw that up? Oh, did I think I just wrote them wrong, but somehow I still wired them up properly. Black tape is inverter out. Inverter in. Ah, I just completely wrote that backwards. Okay, I wired it right, but wrote it backwards. I'm not quite sure how I screw up so badly that I succeed, but there we go, I just did. Wait, I did wire it wrong. I need to start over. I have screwed up too badly. This is shore power in, which goes to the top breaker, which then goes to this wire, That's inverter. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change that from inverter entirely. I'm going to write shore power. And this one is inverter. Ah! No, you did not. Oh, got it. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Inverter out. All right, swap these around. The one upside to making a lot of mistakes is that you get very good about always double checking your work. Let's sanity check this one more. That's shore power in, and it comes out to here, which is shore, which is AC in on the left side. Inverter out, which has the black tape, goes to the distribution panel. Follow the black tape, and it goes to AC out. I made an absolute mess of my labeling. If I had used stickers, I could have just ripped them off and tried again, but I don't have AC power to print my stickers. Let's get this connected again. That's weird. It goes line, neutral, ground, ground, line, neutral. Is that actually the case? Did I make another mistake? Neutral, line, ground, whatever. Sure, they had a good reason for doing it that way. My job is just not to cock it up. All right. So next we need to do the ground and positive. So the next question is, these are the 0-aught, 1-aught, or whatever you call it. These are the 1/0. Did I size it right? Oh, thank God I did. Let's terminate that. I've got a bit of a quandary. I want to heat shrink the 1-aught wire, the ring terminals, but I need AC. Lighter isn't going to shrink this. Maybe it will. I'll try it. I doubt it'll work though. I would really need the heat gun, but that's my AC source. Anyways, let's connect the positive first. Now, being a big heavy cable, I want to run this. Do I want to run this behind everything else? That's going to go pretty much straight onto that. This is tinned copper. I don't know what brand it is. It is very fine strand. Apparently it came off an MRI machine that was being scrapped, and my friend who gave it to me saved it and had been holding on to it for many years. It was very kind of him to give me access to this. It's very valuable wire. Really need to get a proper wire stripper. This wire is so stiff that bending it to break the shielding is just not an option. Which means I'll probably nick some of the strands in there, but, well, what can you do? The number of times I'm actually pulling full current is going to be fairly low. I've never stripped wire this heavy before. Oh, definitely all the way through. Alright, now I can start to pull away at the shielding. Actually, now that it's scarred, I might be able to just, yeah, break it off. That wasn't actually so hard. All right. Oh, wow, this is big wire. This is definitely beyond what I'm used to. Okay, I need to go get the right die and the crimps. All right, I've got the 70mm die. I don't know if that's the right one, but that's the one we're gonna try. Can I get this over the... Yes, I can get it over the finished, so I don't need to worry about the shrink tubing right away. Now this is a long enough run that I don't have to worry about the alignment of this. I can twist the wire to make it work. This is definitely going to be a double crimp, at least. Okay, that's grabbed now. Make sure the wire is seated, and let's go to town. 70 might have been just the right size. Alright, I dare say that seems pretty skookum, as a much more famous Canadian would say. Probably should have made it a bit longer. There's a little bit of missed contact area back there, but again, for the trip home, I think it's fine. If I do end up keeping this, I'll switch this out for proper red and black for the long term. This is the get me home wire. I guess we're gonna try the shrink tubing. Really need a pair of scissors. Come to me, scissors. There we go. That seems about right. I tried to do this before, the wind kept blowing out the lighter because it's a small lighter. So I've closed the Lazarette hatch. Well, this is definitely not doing the cleanest job, that's for sure. It's very uneven heating. This is not going well. But it is shrinking. I'll see if I can wash the soot off. You know what? Except for the sooting, I would say it's not the worst job in the world. The resin's coming out, and that's the key thing. That means it's watertight. Okay, I'm going to get a thing and see if I can wipe the soot off. No, soot's not coming off. Let it be a mark of our learning. Might as well clean up some of the wire while I have this nice little wet cleaning rag. Oh, balls. I wanted to run this over this. Okay, now's the time to fix this. So there's a fuse here already, so I don't need another inline fuse. There used to be a fuse that I was planning to use here. I was going to put another fuse inline where there used to be a fuse up here, but I think that's because the old heart interface didn't have a fuse. So in this case, I can run this straight over to the bus bar. So let's go and crimp in there. I'm going to want to bring the positive like this over and down. So I think I want to cut it about here. I've got a little slack over there. I don't think you can see it on the camera, but I can straighten that up and make it nice and clean. So yeah, let's cut that right there. These oversized cutters, I bought them for, I don't know, I think I bought them just to fill out an order to get to $100 so I get the free shipping, and man, are they coming in handy now. So if last time is any indication, I just need to score it and I'll be able to, I don't know, unzip it, I guess is the best way to describe it. So I don't have to cut all the way through and nick the wires. I wonder if my pipe cutter back home would have done a good job at opening up this insulation. I mean, it's not here, so I don't know, but... yeah. Oh, it's breaking a little bit, but that's okay. I mangled the wires a little that time, but I think that's perfectly usable. Interesting, when I peeled it away, the center bundles popped out a little. I wonder why that happened. That looks like it's going to be good contact in there. The wire pulled back a little bit, but so it goes. All right. Got it more or less exactly backwards to how I wanted it to go. Oh well. Like I said, there's enough length that I can make it work. Oh shit! This is live now. There's no ground. There's no ground, so it won't charge the capacitor. You know what? I'm not going to connect this yet. I'll get the negative done first. So the negative, I'll probably try to run up and across the top here and keep this area. I mean, I suppose I could come up like this and come across and up and over. And that would keep this area cleaner. Maybe that's the way to do it. I need to terminate the end that's going to be the negative. Before I do, I'm going to steal a trick that I saw with the other wire. And to help make sure this gets marked as the positive, I'm going to periodically put some red tape on it. And I'll put black tape on the ground, obviously, or on the negative. And I'll continue that when I go into the Lazarette. Let's see if I can get any better at this. air is actually coming in through the Lazarette hatch. Okay. All right, hardly perfect, but perfectly adequate. And I think that pretty clearly marks it as the positive line. Right, let's do the negative. I'm going to put the ring terminal on this, but then I'm going to send it through to the Multiplus. It'd be easier to send this small amount through there over to the Multiplus rather than trying to wrangle the big loop. Okay, that's good enough. Don't have much black tape left, ironically. That's enough to send into the Lazarette. Okay. If this was actually Ethernet, I would not be running it beside the DC wires because of the magnetic field that's going to come off these wires during high amperage. But this isn't Ethernet. It's basically CAN bus. Come on, no, don't break, don't. Fuck, what are you caught on? What are you caught on? Please don't break. There we go. Shit, it's starting to break. I knew that was coming. I need to find a replacement base for this, but I don't know where to buy them. Oh, fuck, I started to break the other one. I do not like this design, Victron. Come on, this is the last time you have to go on. Don't break on my last try. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, I hate this design. It's like they made it a goddamn zipper. The way it's cut, so breaking is just inevitable. All right, it's in. I need to go find the screws and put those on right away. The more tired I get, the less graceful I get. That's these mounted about here. I'm using one of these clips that you can throw a zip tie through. I'll try to buy more of them before I go home so I can use them to clean up the rest of the wiring. But wrangling these big heavy wires is my first priority. I need to get some more red tape on here. You know, I brought my lace. I really wanted to lace this stuff. But yeah, ain't no time for that. The lacing will have to wait for the real install. I'm not going to close this up in case anything sparks or whatever. I mean, my biggest concern right now is I somehow got these backwards because I really doubt this is coming apart again. At least not in one piece. All right, let's go back inside. Bring these up like that. All right. Okay, let's think about this. Ideally, these would be the same length, but that's not going to happen in this case. I think that's how I'm going to do it. All right. I don't know if it's coming across in the video, but I'm trying to keep in the blue part of the flame so I don't have any yellow. The sooting comes from yellow. Yellow is a sign of an unclean burn. Soot from that unclean burn that marks up the wire. I'm getting good resin squeeze out. This is actually going fairly well this time. Fourth time, I think I've got the lighter trick mostly down. All right, there we go. It's a bit too big for that. Oh, balls. I had you pointed down too low. There. Pre-charge resistor time. Pre-charge resistor time. 1, 2, 10. Now, it's probably going to discharge the resistor a fair bit before I get this in place. So I'll do it again, but this way if I tap the power or the positive by accident, it's not going to be a full charge. 9, 10. Small wire off. Big wire on. It is not a clean connection, but it's connected so the capacitors won't drain. right, let's get that cover back on. Now, you might be fairly asking, if that's 1 aught, why is it okay that these are 4 gauge? I mean, the short answer is it isn't. They should be heavier gauge. But remember that the current coming from the batteries is being split between the 2 batteries. So each of these wires is only seeing half the load that this will be seeing. Let's put the first tie about there. Ouch. There we go. Okay. There we go. I'll get it coiled up back there, but let's get that in there. I'll get that tied up to there. The boat's a rockin'. I'll get some more of those plastic zip tie mounts that you screw in and lock this down, but obviously not tonight. Tonight I just want to turn the AC back on. All right. Perfect? No, but it's alive. We'll get this camera set up to watch in here. Hopefully nothing exciting happens. Now, turn on the unit. The inverter will come on, and if I've got this correct, I'll have 120 volt inside. If I'm wrong, I'll get 120 volt on the shore power cable, which is currently unplugged. Let me verify that. Yeah, that's unplugged. So if I screw up, this becomes live. If I didn't screw up, the board lights up. Okay, that's the inverter light. So far, so good. Let's go see if we've got 120 volt on the boat. So as usual, we'll use the pilot berth. On pilot berth. It's alive. I can't see the light, but that's because it's hidden by the cable. I actually want this off because right now I've created a cycle. I was using the inverter to power the charger to charge the batteries, but the batteries were feeding the inverter, so yeah, I was just making heat. It says inverting, so it's talking to that. So I'm drawing, and my AC loads are basically non-existent. Turn on the hot water tank. AC loads are up to 1,000 watts. Perfect. Okay, now what I did last time is I had this kettle come on, and that started pulling far too much current. So turn on the starboard and port AC outlets. I have AC here. Yep, 23 minutes until fully charged. I've got AC. Last step is to close up the inverter charger. So let's go do that, and then we'll reconnect shore power, and we're done. I've got 1,000 watts coming out of this. I can feel the vibration, but there's absolutely no heat at all. Let's turn that off. All right, I'm still short 1 screw. Turn that back on. I guess we will go connect the shore power now. I heard something click, but I think it was the charger. Yeah, the charger relay kicked in, which is a good sign that we've got shore power. Yep, we're pulling 1,700 watts from the grid, feeding 1,000 watts. And I've got 36 amps going into the chargers, or going into the batteries. We're back online. Too lazy to lift the camera back up. I'm gonna look progressively more disheveled as this trip gets closer. So that's enough for tonight. I've got the Multiplus set up where I wanted it to, which means tomorrow I can start closing up the quarter berth. Oh, I need to plug the other charger back in. I'll do that off camera. I still need to explain to you what I did. I'll do that tomorrow. Good night. Suffice to say, this is not to my standards. Well, I mean, I'm doing it, so I guess it's one of my standards.